Good evening, everybody, on this first day of January 2025, and is officially the second piece of content on this YouTube channel since we began the new year at midnight Pacific Standard Time and 3 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So in this live stream, like we did last night, we are going to be going into a lot of detail, and yeah, we're getting, in fact, Radar Omega involved because we're actually going to be looking at different cities for you all in this live stream because models have uptrended on this winter storm tonight. Okay, so this is pretty concerning, and I'm not doing this just to get views, to get anything. I need to silence my phone. Oh my goodness, my phone is yelling at me. But the winter storm is yelling at us. How about that? So this is going to be a pretty detailed live stream, so make sure you do invite your friends, your family, or anyone who you know, even at the grocery store. Invite them to the live stream because this is going to be one of those live streams that is pretty detailed. We're getting cities, we're getting counties involved here, and so I hope I do a good job. I really do, because this is not going to be very easy because there is a lot of people that are concerned about this. In fact, this is making national headlines. And if you think I'm joking around, the store director, I'm not going to give his last name, but he's a store director where I work at because I work at a grocery store. And he was even telling me about this winter storm today. Did you hear about this massive winter storm that is expected for the Midwest? I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard about it, David, already. Yeah, I'm not joking. His name is David, store director David. He's a great guy. He's one of the better, he's the best manager out there that I love. One of the best. So what's not one of the best here is the big storm that's coming up for the Midwest starting on Saturday. That's what our numerical models are showing us. So without further ado, let's get started. But I want to welcome everybody first, and then we will get really deep into things because I'm that type of person. I want to be courteous. I want to be professional here and welcoming people to the stream. So what's up, Daddy Blunt? How are you doing? What's up, Brandon? What's up, Heidi? Chief Fan? What's up, Sally? What's up, Bobby Livingsworth? I love your last name, by the way, Livingsworth. I think it's a city or a town somewhere. It's recognizable. What's up, KCMO fan? What's up, Caleb? How are you doing? What's up, the gaming? What's up, Love Tina 2010? What's up, the R? What's up, JD Rap? Larry, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. I hope you all had a great new year. What's up, Freddie Jones? What's up, Scott Anderson? How are you doing? So I hope you all are having a great, happy new year. Well, for at least the next 25 minutes if you're on the East Coast, and you'll turn the calendar to day number 2. So now looking at the Euro, so what we're going to be looking at here is a European model first, then the GFS, the American model, then the Canadian, and then of course we'll be looking at your snow totals in the 10:1 ratio, and I'll be explaining what that means during the live stream. We'll be looking at our ice amounts and our sleet totals. People are wondering, what about our sleet, which is basically ice pellets that actually accumulate on the ground. It's like freezing rain, but it's water that freezes in the air before it reaches the ground, if that makes sense. All right. So going forward, this is where it all begins. There's going to be a storm system. That's why I have this zoomed out for you all, because we want to look at the Pacific Northwest, because they're going to get their fair share of some freezing rain problems, some gusty winds too, along to go with that. Yeah, it's down in here in the Columbia River Gorge, okay, Kennewick area, or Kennewick, that is, in Oregon, really prone to that freezing rain in the Willamette Valley. I think that's how you say it, Spokane Valley, right here. And so it starts over here in the Pacific Northwest, and this system is going to kind of skip and hop into the high plains by the weekend. So as we go throughout the next couple of days, tomorrow and Friday, it's mainly in the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, getting in on the rainfall. Some of this could be heavy at times. Might even see some thunderstorms with this too. Moving into the Montana region, we're going to start seeing that snow. But look at this. The Midwest, the High Plains, looking all right for your Friday. Although maybe some snow, it looks like that is going to look more likely than not across the Ohio Valley. This is not to be confused with your Sunday storm. That's going to be a big problem. West Virginia getting in a little bit of snow, and the lake effect snow. Now, while it doesn't look so significant here on the European model, we got to understand this is more on a meso sector, while this is look at on a global sector, so it's not going to resolve the equations really well onto a finer scale. But what this is also showing us is the lake effect snow, and some of this could be heavy at times. So yeah, lots of lake effect snow on the way for Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario, as well as Lake Erie through the weekend. Okay, and this is going to be a thing all the way through probably early next week. So some areas, I'm not joking when I say this, Erie, Pennsylvania, Oswego in Pennsylvania, some of these areas could get, and I want to be clear about this, could get up to 3 to 4 feet of snowfall, while other areas near miles away might only get, say, 1 or 2 inches of snow. So it really is going to be location based here. Who gets the most, and wherever those bands of lake effect snow really linger could be a really big problem. And I mean, we could see blizzard conditions, a lot of problems up there. There are lake effect snow warnings in that area. So I did not want to forget about the northeast. Even so, you're not going to get the majority of what is going to be down here in the Midwest, and also for portions of the upper Midwest on Sunday and Monday. But once we get into Saturday, this is where things kind of go down the pipe, okay? So we get this system moving into the Pacific Northwest, the upper level energy. You don't see it very well here, but you can see there's a trough involved here in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. This is going to eject into the high plains by Saturday night. And what's going to end up happening here is, let's zoom in. We're going to start getting warmer air advection, because what we end up seeing is this surface low. This is what we call a lee side Colorado Rocky low. All right. When you get divergent flow aloft coming off the Rockies like this, well, the air has to go somewhere. So there's a void left behind, and that allows surface convergence. So you're pulling in warm air, moist air off the Gulf of Mexico. Our waters are definitely above average in the Gulf right now, and you're pulling in this air all the way around. So we start seeing a surface low develop by Saturday morning, but it's not really until we get into Saturday night when things really get nasty, okay? Look at this. I mean, in theory, you might start seeing some freezing drizzle as early as, say, maybe 9 or 10 in the morning if you're in central Kansas. How about that? Could be a little on the earlier side. And this is the 18Z Euro model. We're waiting for the 0Z to come out. That will be soon. We will be providing that in this live stream. And of course, up here you have the early makings of some snow that is going to develop here. Now, as we go into the overnight hours, this system really takes off. And we've talked about this in yesterday's live stream. I've talked about it in the afternoon briefing update on this system. And it hasn't changed much, but it has gotten a little stronger otherwise here on the models. And you'll see this on the GFS and the Canadian model as well. And then we'll be looking at the exact rain, freezing rain amounts, how much snow you're going to get on radar Omega, okay? And so pay attention to this pink area right in here. This is our freezing rain, okay? This is rain. These are water droplets that are super chilled, okay? They're actually, you could have liquid water still in liquid form as low as 30 degrees or even 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Just as long as there's no nuclei crystal to cause nucleation, with the water droplet in purified form, you could have super chilled water. That, if in a great example of this is if you stick a water bottle in the freezer, right, without agitating it or any vibrations and stuff, and you bring that water and you let it just super chill long enough, that water will actually be in liquid form, even so it's like 27 or 28 degrees. But once you like tap the bottle, you give it like a love tap, you'll see nucleation. The water will instantly freeze into ice, which is pretty cool. So same process happens here with freezing rain. The water droplet is not going to freeze until it hits an object, right? That's the vibrating effect. So if it hits a mailbox, it hits your car, hits the street, sidewalk, the roof, it will freeze on contact. That's the freezing rain here. That's not to be confused with regular rain, where the entire column, even at the surface, temperatures are above freezing. That's why the water won't freeze instantaneously right when it hits the ground. Okay, I hope that really clarified things here. Now, I wanted to make it clear too, the European model is not really doing a whole good job at showing sleet. There will be some sleet, because there always is. You have to go through the different precipitation types to get to snow, especially with a thermal baroclinic gradient like what we're seeing here. So this is by Sunday morning. Oops, there we go. So by Sunday morning, it's going to be really bad. The weather conditions across Kansas City, all right, you're going to have strong winds. So let me bring my arrows out here. So your winds are going to be doing this. They're going to be wrapping all the way around this surface low like this, okay? But what happens here is you get easterly wind at the surface, but then you get this warmer air overlapping. That's that warm front that I've been telling you all about that is going to be responsible for this freezing rain. And this is a pretty subtle warm front, because look at how large this area of freezing rain is going to be. This is nearly a couple of 100 miles from north to south that is going to stretch across the area. And it looks like here on the Euro really wants St. Louis in trouble here. And the freezing rain does begin there as early as, say, 1 or 2 in the morning Central Time, and then it continues here. And again, I want to make it clear here, winds will be picking up here. We're talking strong winds along to go with the freezing rain to add more additional power outages. So even if you don't get power outages directly from the freezing rain, you may get power outages due to falling trees, and those trees land on power lines, and that leads to those power disruptions. Utility damage as well, because we're going to have a lot of freezing rain accumulation in some isolated areas. We're going to be looking at those accumulations here on Radar Omega here in a little bit. But you can see what we're dealing with north of that. Lots of snow is going to be occurring here, because we have all this moisture being flung onto the northern side of the system. Remember, we have an Arctic high pressure system. Again, this is at the surface, 1,041 millibars over North and South Dakota, over Minnesota. That's that cold, dense air that is going to be scaving underneath, where we have warmer air coming overhead of the warmer air over colder air, and that's what we get here. We get the freezing rain effect and some sleet as well. Okay, so that's what we're concerned about here as we move forward, especially Sunday morning through Sunday night, pretty much across much of the upper Midwest isn't looking too good at all. And we can see how this ends up panning out by Sunday afternoon and evening over Oklahoma, oh my gosh, over Indiana, over Ohio, over, say, Illinois. You have that light to moderate snow that's going to come down. But then look at to the south, over Cincinnati, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio to the south, you can have some freezing rain. And of course, down across central and southern Indiana, pretty much in trouble at this point. You're going to have a lot of freezing rain accumulation. Northern Kentucky, as well as the state of West Virginia, also in trouble here. Could get a mixed bag of wintry precipitation here, a wintry mix. Freezing rain, sleet, and snow perhaps in the state, as well as in West Virginia, or not West Virginia, in Virginia state as well to the north, you could get a little bit of freezing rain. And that's not all. Let's go into the eastern sector here, because this is going to continue even into portions here. It looks like of North Carolina, some of the valleys there might get an isolated amount of freezing rain before this storm kind of falls apart. But now it looks like still the Euro going a little fast on this one. Looks like by Monday night could still be snowing, and then looks like by Tuesday morning for your morning commute. Although I cannot stress enough, there could be some lake effect snow here across these Great Lakes, because this colder air mass now is coming in. Cold air advection over these warm lake waters will at least allow some surface-based instability to develop, okay? So just be weary of that. So now that we've looked at the Pacific Northwest just on the Euro model, we're just going to zoom in here and look just mainly at the Midwest, because I covered you all pretty well there. Again, some freezing rain problems in the Pacific Northwest over the next day or two. Now, looking at the GFS model, this system develops pretty much with what the Euro has it, maybe slightly later. The GFS has trended a little bit slower, like with the Euro model, with the 18Z output, but doesn't mean it's a little weaker, because look what happens. By Sunday morning, this really develops in a hurry. Look at all the precipitation. This is what we're talking about here too. This yellow color here, this is sleet, freezing rain, and then snow in blue, and then of course your rain. This is a very good classic Neapolitan storm, and you all say it with me. Say Neapolitan, because that's basically what this represents. I literally gave this it's not the name of the storm, but with all the precipitation types, it's the different flavors of ice cream. So imagining the rain here as vanilla, then you get your strawberry, then your chocolate, and then maybe some Rocky Road or whatever mint chocolate chip ice cream in green or in blue here. So you get 4 different precipitations with one storm. Pretty ironic, to say the least. And that is because, well, we have warmer air aloft overriding this cooler air that is at the surface. That's why you get these different precipitation chances or types that occur. So this is going to be a big thing, and we'll get to the severe weather here in a little bit, because severe weather now is looking a little hefty on the model. Easy peasy reminding me that, actually, because he's only really here for the severe weather, but also for the winter weather, by the way. By the way, your area, easy peasy, yeah, it might get a little interesting. Either rain or freezing rain for your area. We'll see about that. But by Sunday afternoon, this is when it gets concerning. All of this down here is severe weather Mageddon. We have to watch this on the GFS and on when we get closer to this event, looking at our CAMS models, because we could have a severe weather event. I won't call it an outbreak right now, but certainly a probably enhanced risk of severe weather down here, driven mainly by tornadoes and some damaging winds, similar to our last Sunday's severe weather event that broke out across the deep south here, produced over 50 tornadoes, I believe, 50 tornado reports. Okay, this is going to add more power outages, by the way, because of the tornado and the wind damage. And then, of course, look at the freezing rain. A lot of problems, boy. This is going to be making national headlines. And if you think this is not making national headlines, our local meteorologist in California, in the Central Valley where I live, they have also been talking about this winter storm too. So, yeah, this is reaching the eyes of other news stations like KCRA3 News that is in California, as well as even maybe news stations in Southern California and the Four Corners have been also talked about this. This is a big storm. By all means, this is a significant major winter storm. Extreme on this end, because we are going to have extreme ice accumulations and maybe some sleet accumulations. Snow doesn't look to be on the extreme side here, but the winds could make it pretty extreme when you think about it, okay? So that moves through and moves into the eastern seaboard. More of an impact here on the GFS, more snowfall accumulations over, say, Maryland, Delaware, and southern New Jersey for Monday morning, okay? And this clears out finally by Tuesday. And it looks right now, your morning commute on Tuesday looks a-okay, but not so much for your morning commute on Monday. Could really be impacted. In fact, pretty much any area here, like in Norfolk, Virginia, if you are in Maryland, my sister lives in Eastern Maryland. Not going to give you the city for many reasons. She could give you the city name if she wants, but yeah, she lives in Southern Maryland, and she could get some snow, maybe some sleet, and then maybe, depending on how things go, might turn into freezing rain before it transitions back over to snow. So you might see a sort of thing where you start off as snow, you turn it over to freezing rain, and then change it back over to snow, just depending on where this warm front exactly sets up, how much warmer air advection can override this cooler boundary layer that is coming out of the north, and the whole synoptic flow that comes in and pulls in that cooler air with that low pressure system. But looks like right now for my friend, easy peasy lemon squeezy, that lives in Tennessee, right now looks to mainly be a rain event. Don't be surprised if you do end up seeing some freezing drizzle before it changes over to rain, and then maybe over to snow briefly in the wake of that system, okay? Now let's take a look at one more model, okay, because my job is to compare these models, not just look at one model. Other YouTubers will just show you one model, okay? Maybe two at the most, but I show three. Okay, and once we get in closer into the details of this, that would be more like Friday night. That will be a live stream too. We will show you the CAMS guidance, the convective allowing models that will nail down exactly who's going to get the worst, right, in a more finer detail sense. But you can see on the Canadian model, showing quite a bit of freezing rain and also that sleet, very similar to the GFS. Only that the GFS, let's go back here to the Ohio Valley sector. Only that the GFS had kind of a sleet, freezing rain over St. Louis, Missouri, versus the Canadian is more leaning towards sleet and snow in the mix there over the same area. So keep that in mind, that exactly where that warm front will set up and who gets what, we won't know until literally like 12 or so hours before the onset of this. Then we'll know where it sets up. But yeah, whoever gets the freezing rain, this pink area, yeah, there's some darker pinks down here in southern Illinois. That's really heavy freezing rain. That's not really light at all. That accumulates pretty quickly. I would say about 1/10 of an inch an hour might fall there at one point in southern Illinois, southern Indiana. And then once we get into the eastern portion there, quite a bit more robust here on the Canadian model, showing more freezing rain here over Tennessee. Yeah, there's a lot more going on with the Canadian model than what the GFS, the American model, is showing. And then it turns over to rain and then back over to snow once that cooler air comes back around of the system. Now, this is showing that conditions could linger a little longer, especially over portions of, say, Delaware and Maryland. Maybe into Tuesday morning, you might still get some a little bit of some flurries. And then on the backside here, too, over the Appalachians, thanks to topographical effects, you might get some snow being squeezed out. Now, one thing that is not being shown here very much, again, is that lake effect snow. I've circled this in black. Also over Lake Michigan, you get some lake effect snow. It's always hard to figure out who's going to get the heaviest, because there is going to be a lot of this cooler air that is going to be, that's going to come in out of the north in the wake of this area of low pressure. So that's going to keep the lake effect snow going until our lakes get cold enough where they freeze over. And once they do, then latent heat release will really come down a lot. And then your lake effect snow should weaken. But I don't think that's going to happen. This is not going to be a month-long Arctic freeze for the time being. Okay. So now, what about, now let's get to accumulations. I wanted to show you here on Radar Omega. I think this is pretty good. Now there's no date. Oh, there's a date. Finally, I was able to pick it up here. This is valid through the 7th. Okay, that's through Tuesday. That's what I wanted. Okay, so through 4 a.m. Actually, let's go a little further. Let's go to 129 hours out. That will actually be a little bit better. So I'm going to just mainly cover, say, mainly from the high plains further to the east here, okay? Because because a lot of people are really curious about, oh, then if there's time, we'll actually show you the Pacific Northwest, all right? So let me bring out my little spectrometer. I call it a spectrometer because you can inspect things. And so portions of Kansas here, while Phillipsburg in Kansas could get, now this is 10-1 ratio, by the way, all right? I wanted to be clear here, 10-1 ratio snowfall totals. This is not Kachira by any chance. Phillipsburg here, based on the GFS, could get 14 inches of snowfall. If you're in, what is this? Oberlin, Kansas, could get 10 inches of snow. If you're in Condoria, you might get 18 inches. Belleville, possibly 18 inches. Junction City, 14 inches. That's quite a bit. Minneapolis, not to be confused. This is in Kansas, not in Minnesota. Ellsworth could get 14 to 15 inches. Lincoln, 15 inches. But what really catches my attention here is over St. Joseph. This is 26 and a half inches. That's 2 feet. That's 2 feet of 10-1 ratio snowfall totals. This is not Kachira. I don't even know if we can bring that up. Am I able to bring that? Does weather... No, they don't. They do not provide it for some reason. For many reasons, probably. So it only gives me the 10-1 ratio. All right, and you can see that's 26 inches. That's 2 feet of snowfall. Yeah, okay, that's not with the more aggressive formula that we could otherwise use. Leavenworth, about 2 feet of snow, close to that. And then further south, Wichita, 3.4 inches. Dodge City, 5.3 inches. Garden City, 3.2. Learned 8.5, Great Bend 7.2, Emporia there about 7.2 inches, Ottawa there about 5 inches, Jefferson City in Missouri there could get 6 inches, Kirksville about 13 inches, Maryville that is in Missouri 13 inches. All right, so there's this little stretch. There's a 27 inches, so that's the highest snow amount I could find here on this map, at least in the Midwest. So there is quite a bit of snowfall in this area, maybe up to 2 feet now, based on our latest GFS model. And this is the 0Z run. This is 89% in already. So this is fresh off the press. We'll have to wait and see what the European model shows once that starts coming in. Springfield only about 1.3, and some people were asking about Topeka, right? Topeka could get up to about 9 to 10 inches of snow out of this. But areas further south, Stillwater might get a dusting, but anything south of Ponca City may get a dusting, and that's about all you're going to see. But instead, watch out. You might get some freezing rain, depending on where that precipitation sets up, right? Fayetteville in Arkansas, about a half an inch of snow. And then let's go back here to the more snow amounts, because people are wondering, what about Decatur in Illinois, 13 and a half inches. Thank you, Richard, for the $20 donation. Jacksonville, Illinois, 15 inches. That's a lot of snow covering the ground. Charleston, 17 inches. Terre Haute, 17 inches. Bloomington, Indiana could get 18 inches. Indianapolis here could get 14 inches. If you're in Zionville, 16, 17-ish inches of snow. And then, of course, in the more metropolitan area here of Joliet, Gary, Indiana, as well as Chicago, Chicago could get about an inch. All right, with this system, again, depending on how far north that gets is going to be important. But right now, it looks like 1 to 3 inches is the general thinking over Chicago right now. So not a big snowmaker for that area. Fort Wayne, Indiana, probably like 2 to 4 inches of snow that you're anticipated to see. If you're in Cedar Rapids, more like about an inch or so. Davenport, Iowa, maybe 3.5 to 5 inches. Des Moines, Iowa, 3 to 6 inches. Omaha, Nebraska, 4 inches. You get the idea. And then let's go further east here. Morgantown, West Virginia, some of the higher elevations here of the Smokies and Appalachians, you get locally a couple of feet of snow. In fact, this is not a very high resolution. You can even see it right here. This is a grid point that we're witnessing, so this is not the best resolution, so I would not be surprised if some areas like right in here near Mountain Park could get about 1 to 3 feet of snowfall out of this due to orographic effects from forcing, from topographical effects that could squeeze out more additional moisture. Elkins could get maybe about a foot or so of snowfall. And then down here further south in Boone in North Carolina could get maybe about 2 to 4 feet. Not 2 to 4 feet, 2 to 4 inches. Oh my gosh, my words today. Johnson City might get about an inch or so. If you're in Mars Hill, maybe about an inch or so of snow. And then, yes, my sister lives in Maryland here. Easton could get about 6 inches. Cambridge, 6 inches. Centerville in Virginia, that is 10 inches. Silver Spring, about 9 inches. Annapolis, I think I said that correctly. Another tongue twister name, right? 10 inches of snow that falls there. 11 inches. Where's that at? Hey, California. What the heck? There's a little town or city named California. Hey, we could use 10 inches here of additional snow. Lexington Park, 10 inches of snow. 11 inches there. Let's see. Let's go further south. Cape Charles, that's about an inch. Norfolk, the international airport here, could get about an inch of snow. Newport News, maybe about a dusting, and that's really all you're going to see. Now, about the lake effect snow, because I did not want to forget you all up here, too, in the upstate New York area. So, of course, the GFS model, not a really high-end model. We all know that for experience. This is a global computer model. So you have your global, then you got your regional, and you got your CAMS and meso models. This is on the global, long-term type model that doesn't do a good job at resolving things on a finer tuned scale. But yeah, Verona, Rome here in upstate New York, 28 inches. That's 2.5, almost 2.5 feet of snowfall. Yeah, this is 5 days out too, right? This is 5 days out. Now, actually, yeah, this could fall in 4 days. That's a lot of snow in 4 days, 96 hours out. This is through, let's see, that's through Sunday. Sunday afternoon and evening, you might get a few feet of snowfall. Yeah, that's a lot of snow compressed in a 4-day period, and a lot of that could fall in a 3-day period. So, yeah, big snow up here in upstate New York. Syracuse area could get a lot. Erie, Pennsylvania, in about 5 days, you might see up to about 10 or so inches of snow. Here, it's kind of up in the air on exactly how the wind does. It looks like the wind is going to be coming in more like this, though. So the area of water is not going to be able to allow enough instability to develop over the lake waters here with that cooler air moving in, where you're going to get efficient accumulation here of lake effect snow. But still, 10 inches in about 5 days is decent. That's almost a foot. But where you get this wind that comes more out of this direction over, that's Lake Ontario, I believe. Lake Ontario. There's more fetch here of water for that cold air to move over. So what you end up with is a better fetch of lake effect snow. And some of this here could be locally higher, up to 3+ feet in some areas. with that. So keep in mind that snow, that lake effect snow is no joke over the next few days. And of course, really quickly over the Cascades, don't want to forget you all over Hood River. You might get a few feet of snowfall with this upcoming winter storm that's going to come across. Spokane could get maybe about 16 inches. Some of the higher elevations here of for Idaho might get up to 28 inches of snowfall. But yeah, areas like us in California, this is going to be the last snow that we see for a while, thanks to a negative AO and a negative NAO that's going to develop with a negative, I think it's negative EPO, or wait, positive EPO, and that's, or no, wait, negative EPO, I believe that is, with the ridge across the west. It's going to shut down our snow and rainfall. And so you end up with 25 inches of snow, but that's going to fall through Friday, and that's going to be the end of that. What's up, Smith? Thank you for the $10 donation. I want to say thank you again, Richard, for that $20 donation. I do appreciate it. All right, so you all are probably wondering, how do I, oh my goodness, there we go. You all are wondering about freezing rain, right? So let's take a look at the freezing rain accumulations. Yeah, this is pretty concerning, actually. Yeah, quite worried about how much ice does accumulate here. And remember, it only takes about 1/10 of an inch of ice to cause problems. So let's see, Dodge City, Kansas, about a glaze or so of ice that might accumulate here. And this is through the next 5 days. Most of this will fall just within a 24-hour period. But yeah, areas like here, near Nashville in Kansas, might get 0.3 of an inch of ice accumulation here. And then Sedgwick, Whitewater, 0.3 of an inch. And then you go further here. These are more aggressive numbers. I would say probably a little lesser than this. Burlington, 0.3 of an inch. And then Fort Scott, this is when we get into the more concerning numbers here. This is for eastern Kansas. This is, again, on the GFS model. This is different than our European model, which the European model does not provide this on Radar Omega for some heck reason. I don't know why it's not provided that way, but hey, that's Radar Omega's fault, right? Radar Omega can do what Radar Omega wants to do, right? But you can see once we get into, say, Missouri, that's when the ice accumulations stack up a little bit, up to about 1/2 inch. And then specifically over here, Lebanon, possibly 1 inch of freezing rain. That is very, 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 very bad. That's 1 inch of ice. Think about 1 inch, folks. Get your ruler out and measure 1 inch. That's what you can be looking at over surfaces, trees, power lines, roofs, roads, your car. Yeah, don't keep your car outside at all. That would be a big mistake. And then Edgar Springs could get about 0.7 of an inch of ice. And you can see it right here. Let me bring up Weatherbell, because then we can look at the other models on this, which, by the way, there's your snow amount. And let's see what it's like in Kachira for curiosity reasons. Yeah, you can see some areas could get 30 inches. I don't think that's going to happen on the Kachira map because a 10-1 ratio. We'll explain that here in a second. But actually, let's go and look at the Euro first with the freezing rain amounts. This is... The 0Z has not started rendering yet. So you can see here clearly on the ECMWF, which stands for European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting, these areas specifically could get anywhere between about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. I'm still thinking that's what's going to accumulate. However, there are some areas right in here. This is kind of the area right in here that I'm pretty concerned about. This area that I've circled in black, because there's a lot of population here. And not only that, these areas could get up to 1/2 inch or more. Maybe some isolated locations could get up to maybe 3/4 of an inch of ice. That's enough to really take down power lines, trees, infrastructure, utility damage as well. A lot of this accumulates on the roads, your driveway. You make sure you bring your car inside because, yeah, ice will cover your handle and you will have to risk breaking a window, and you don't want to do that to even get into your car and open the door. You do not want to be in that position. So make sure you do bring your car in overnight on Saturday, because the freezing rain is actually more like, yeah, I would do it Saturday night for a lot of these locations because this is going to be moving through pretty fast, and it's going to be throughout here by Saturday or by Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. And I encourage you all to not go out and drive in this because this is pretty significant. By all means, anywhere between about a quarter of an inch for some locations, all the way up to 3/4 of an inch. Now, the GFS model is a little less aggressive here, like we just looked at, possibly up to about 1/2 an inch in some of these areas, like central Missouri, like near Springfield, Missouri, as well as northern portion there of Kentucky and West Virginia. Now, looking at the Canadian model, this is a pretty bullish model, by the way. This is a very aggressive one. Now, if you really want to solely believe on the Canadian, some of these areas right in here could get up to 1 inch of ice accumulation. That's devastating. That's catastrophic, actually. And then some other areas here could get up to about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. But specifically on the Canadian, right about in here could be the most concerning, where you see your most ice. So that southern Missouri, southern Illinois area seems to be the area where I am most concerned about more long duration power outages, more widespread damage onto the utility lines because of the weight of the ice. Ice weighs a lot, folks. It's frozen water. Okay, when water freezes, you could literally pick water up. You could, and that's what it is. Ice is it's water turns into a vapor, water vapor. That's in gaseous form, and then liquid form is just H2O. That's the water that we drink. And then in solid form is ice, and this is one of those. So it's in its frozen state here over much of the Midwest and the upper Midwest. Okay. So that's kind of what this is telling us. So now I wanted to show you all something pretty cool. Now, remember about those ratios that I kind of briefly talked about, or mainly did talk about in this live stream, is different ratios, and it's based on temperature. So let me see if I could find it here. Yeah, there we go. This is a GFS model, by the way. So let's go to about here. Let me make sure this actually matches. Yeah. So all throughout here. Okay, so from Sunday morning through Monday morning. So right about in here, so wherever it snows, this is going to be your 10:1 ratio, mainly where most of the accumulation happens. So as you know, why we use this is for every 10 inches of snow you accumulate, that equals 1 inch of water. Okay, if you melt that snow, all right, you melt it through, it gives you 1 inch of water. So try that. That's the experiment you all can try. Put 1 inch of snow in a container and melt it and see how much water you get out of it. That's what this kind of illustrates. Okay, so the higher the ratios, because it's cooler, right? The air is much colder, so the snow is going to be drier. You accumulate snow more, but it equals to the same amount of water, if that makes sense. So in other words, up here, this is in central, southern-ish Canada. This is 24 to 25 in 1 ratio. So for every 25 inches of snow accumulation you get 1 inch of water equivalent out of it. And then you get over here in eastern Canada, that's 30:1 ratio. So that is 30 inches of snow needed to get just 1 inch of water equivalent. So in other words, The higher the numbers you get, the drier the snow is, and it's more powdery. It's not really a problem to drive in. It just kind of blows across the road and it turns into diamond dust even. But when you get into the lower ratios, so let me kind of look at a sector here for you all. Sorry, my ears plugged up there for a second. So like further south you get your 6 and 1. So for every 6 inches of snow, you get 1 inch of water. And then like, so St. Louis, Missouri, your snow ratios are actually going to go up as the storm moves, moves over your area. And those ratios could get as low as, say, maybe 3 or 4 inches, and then those snow ratios come back down or go back up because that cooler air moves in, and you get your 15 and 1 ratio snow accumulation in the wake of that. So pretty cool tool that I would highly recommend using. And then imagining if we had a snowstorm here. Let's go to let's go back a little bit. Yeah, right about here. So imagining if we had a snowstorm that was energized enough and there was enough colder air on it, 35 in 1, okay? 35 inches of snow makes 1 inch of ice, or 1 inch of water, I should say. So this would be more of your Kachira. So you would use a different formula. So you would use, let's see, right up here. So this would be what you use. And look at, that's why your snow accumulation really goes up here. So if we go to the next 7 days, you can see up here in southern Hudson Bay, you get 47 inches. And that might sound like a lot. But when we bring this down to our 10 and 1 ratio, it's not a whole lot. That's only about 2 feet of snow. So you go from having about 4 feet of snow in the Kachira range, and that's 27 inches in the 10 and 1 ratio. And that, let's see what that accumulates to as far as your QPF. Total accumulation. So that accumulates to about 2 inches of water. So you can kind of formulate that and get your Kachira that way. So there's different ways you could actually measure snow depending on the temperature. But the principle applies all the time. The colder the temperature, the air temperature is, the drier the snow is going to be and the more powdery it's going to be. There's such thing as dry snow and a wet snow. A wet snow has lower ratios, okay? But always use the 2-1 ratio. So any number to the power of 1. So 6 to 1, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, or 40 or 50 to 1. Boy, if you had a 50 to 1 ratio, that's exceptionally dry snow. There's no moisture in that at all. So like, let's just say you had a foot of 12 inches of snow. Yeah, that would be like 1 or 2 hundredths of an inch of water perhaps, right? So that's a cool tool that I highly recommend using. And you can find this on the College Due page, cod.edu/forecast. And you can find it here, okay? So now another thing, any questions before we move on? I want to kind of go into sections here. Any questions about the snow, freezing rain, and thing? Because we want to talk about these cold temperatures because it really will relate to the freezing rain that's going to be a problem across the Deep South. And I want to repeat myself, there will probably be widespread power outages that do not last for just 12 hours or 1 day. Some of these areas could be without power for up to a week or more, because what I'm about to show you is making that possible. Can New York City get some snow? So let me go back here. Let's actually just use this. Okay, there we go. Let me go over here to the 10 and 1 ratio because we're going to just use that. And let's go to our sector selection. So let's go into the New York area. So on the GFS model, like I said, actually, you know what? Why not? We already have it here. So I'm just going to use this instead on Radar Omega. Heck with it. So some parts of New York, yes, you will get snow, especially lake effect prone areas. Excuse me. But like New York City, it doesn't look like you're going to get any snow at all. Maybe a dusting at the most. Question, the southern half of Indiana. Yeah, the southern half of Indiana, depending on what precipitation type you get. So if you're in Bloomington, it's going to be mainly in the form of snow. But yeah, if you're in southern Indiana, like Evansville, there will be some snow, but it's going to be ice. It's just going to be a very slushy, wet snow that comes down. And it may transition. It may start off as a wet snow, transition over to sleet and freezing rain, and then back over to sleet, and then maybe over to snow after that. So you're going to be in that winter battle zone where you do get some snow at the beginning, and then it may transition to freezing rain and then back over. What about Oklahoma? So Oklahoma, northern Oklahoma, you could get about an inch or two of snow out of this system. It doesn't look a whole lot. What you're going to notice, though, is the winds. The winds are going to be pretty strong out of the northwesterly direction on the backside of the system. Models are moving a little bit more north, correct? Yeah, so slightly they are moving north. Actually, you know what? There's a pretty cool tool here. I don't know if we could bring it up here. I don't know if it's on this map. Shoot. Can we compare runs on this? I select model. Select run. There has to be a way we can compare runs. Maybe it's... Oh, let's do this. I think this is it. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so let me see. Okay, let's go out to... Okay, let me go out here to... let's do the 12Z. That's the 4th, right? Okay, no, we want... Let's do Sunday morning. Sorry, folks. This is a new tool. Let's load the comparison up. Actually, let me go a frame over and load the comparison. Here we go. So what this basically shows us is what different models are showing, and this is still moving around right here. Pretty cool tool, actually. Courtesy of Call of Duty page. So what you're looking at here is different model runs. These are the past model runs over the last 3 days. The last 3 days of model runs, and we can see as we load this through, you can see how the system was slower, but we can see huge corrections recently to the recent runs of the GFS. Now it looks like it is going to be over Oklahoma by 15Z Sunday, which is around about 9 or 10 in the morning. That's where that surface low will be. This is where you have your freezing rain in purple. This is where your snow is going to be. But now let's kind of drag this over a little bit. Slow the comparison now. And let's look here. So this has trended, it's pretty much the same. It hasn't really trended north much as far as the shield of snow here. We can see in recent model runs, it's been moving around a little bit, but it has not really made a northerly trend yet. It looks like Chicago is on the northern brim of that, getting any significant accumulation versus areas to the south where that snow is. That's where you're going to get more of this. But you can see in the last 3 days, you can really see how there has been huge corrections to the model, to the numerical GFS forecast. Also, someone reminded me there could also be the threat for some thunder freezing rain as well. So pretty interesting to see that actually. There could be a chance that some of the freezing rain could be heavy enough where we do get some convective elements, where we do get some thunder freezing rain. Yeah, pretty fascinating to see that. But I hope everybody's doing great. Make sure you share this with your friends and families. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to be doing another update on this tomorrow early afternoon. I'm probably going to release a video a little earlier, probably like around 12:30 or so tomorrow, because we really do need to be talking about this. This is pretty significant. Actually, we'll probably upload at noon, so then by the afternoon hours, I may go live. How much snow for northwestern Ohio? So let's go back over to the snow map for northwestern Ohio. Not going to get a whole lot here. Maybe about 1 to 3 inches in Lima. You might get about 3 inches of snow. Thank you, Xander. Has everything changed in northern Alabama? So northern Alabama, at this point, does not look to get freezing rain at all now. It's safe to say at this point, the risk for freezing rain the chances have dropped markedly. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot in the way of accumulation. We're waiting for that 0Z to come out, but as far as it stands here on the last few runs of the Euro, actually has trended this a little north with freezing rain. From the 0Z last night to now, this has trended a little north. So the chances of it happening in Alabama now are 0. Instead, you're going to get severe weather. And for that, let's go to the Storm Prediction Center because I wanted to show you all the severe weather that is expected here. I did show this in today's video. This has not been updated yet on the SPC, so this is still current. But there is a highlighted area here from eastern Texas into most of Louisiana, into western Mississippi, into southern Arkansas. There is a 15% risk for severe weather. This does include the possibility of more tornadoes, damaging winds most likely. The hail threat here looks to be marginal, modest, kind of minuscule at this time, but there could be isolated events where we do get quarter-size hail, but mainly a tornado and wind-driven slight risk here. And I am not surprised if this gets upgraded to an enhanced risk in the day 2 outlook or day 3 once this gets closer, because there will be enough instability involved with this system, okay? That's going to be the thing. Hey, I'm the only one that's live right now? Really? Hey, I'm making up. I am literally making up. Yeah, no one is live on this winter storm that's coming up. Isn't it funny? I literally went silent for a week, and then I threw a curveball at everyone and like, hey, I'm back. I am back in strong will mankind on this winter storm. And this is serious. This is nothing to mess with. This is a significant winter storm. And now we're waiting for our 0Z Euro to come in. We're at 60 hours right now on the 0Z run. And let's see if those accumulations did go up. Thank you, Heidi. What's up, Cassie? How are you doing? All right, so I think questions are closed for as far as snow amounts go. So let's take a look at the temperatures. Let's go to pivotal weather because you could actually kind of zone in on stuff. So let's actually look at that. Hey, they got some more stuff, I guess. Pretty cool. Trying to get me back to subscribing with them. So let's go to temperatures here. So the big thing about this, and let me actually zoom on in. Will it actually let me in the free version? I think it will. Actually, let's just use the whole sector just because the way they have their regions laid out, not very helpful. So let's actually look at this. I can't get rid of ads because I am not a subscriber. So good luck with seeing the ads down there. Okay, so definitely some cooler temperatures are on the way. And here is the twist to all of this, is that the freezing rain is not going to melt. So once this accumulates, there's going to be a lot of cooler air in its wake that is going to be moving in out of the north. So areas like, let's just fast forward through this. You can see that areas that do get the freezing rain, you'll be at that 25 to 31 degree temperature line. But watch what happens, okay? So this is where there's freezing rain, where the temperatures are around or are below freezing. That's how you get freezing rain, right? So you have temperatures right around 28 to 30 degrees, right? And then look what happens. The temperatures fall rapidly behind this system. So you get this northerly flow and you drag in cooler air out of the north. So like the high plains here, look at some of these numbers here in the teens behind the front. And it really doesn't warm up enough. So areas that do see the freezing rain may not warm up at all. Staying in the mid-20s, that's cold enough to keep the ice from melting. And then look what happens. It cools down even more. Some areas here could be -1 degrees, single digits in this little ribbon where that snow and ice accumulates. That is going to be the issue here, okay? That is going to be the concern, is that once ice accumulates, it's not going to melt at all. So your power outages lasting 12 hours, guaranteed. You're not going to get your power back on. Maybe a couple of you, maybe isolated areas that don't get it as bad may be able to recover, but like areas that get like 3/4 of an inch of ice, forget about it. You're not going to get your power back on at all for probably almost a week. Could even be longer than that. It just depends on when the thaw out happens here. But right here, this is for Tuesday next week. Temperatures are really going to be cold. And look at this. This is concerning right here. -14 degrees. Wednesday morning next week in Missouri, Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana. Look at this. -8 degrees Fahrenheit. These are actual temperatures. This is not your wind chill values. Look at this. In Kansas, almost -20 degrees. Ouch, that's cold. Really, really cold down here where you get that snow that enhances the cooling effect at the surface. So imagining this, you get ice, it's just, you're going to have to deal with that for a while, okay? So let's go and move on here. So that's going to be your Wednesday morning. And look at it, doesn't warm up very much. Like, come on, literally, seriously, only going to warm up to about 17 degrees. And then it's not going to be as cool here in the Missouri area because that cooler air is going to be moving to the east. But look at -6 degrees, still negative territory in southern Indiana. Yeah, Kokomo, Indiana, as well as Indianapolis, single digits, you name it. And of course, up here to the north, be very cold. That's going to be used for what's to come next. By the middle to the end of next week, we're going to get a reinforcement of cooler air coming in out of the north. And look at these temperatures. These are your actual air temperature numbers, -20 to -30 degrees in Minnesota. And oh my goodness, look at this, -20 degree temperatures. I want to make that clear. Perhaps by the end of next week, this is really, really far out. This is fantasy land, folks. I want to be clear. But -20 degree temperatures as far south as southern Missouri, northern Kentucky, southern Illinois. This is alarming. Okay, this is alarming. And if you don't have your power back on, a few of you may not have that on, you're going to be without any heating. And that your heater is not going to be able to work unless, well, you can find out a way to make that heater work without using electricity, this is going to be a big problem. This is going to make a lot of headlines, and I don't care if I'm hyping this up or not. This is going to be making a lot of headlines because this is some cold air that is going to last a while. It's not going anywhere. In fact, be more specific than not, it could be a while before anything down here is able to thaw out in southern Missouri. Okay, you could be at or below freezing for a while, okay, where that freezing rain actually occurs. So you better get used to it. Once that freezing rain comes, you're going to want to go, you could go ice skating, get your ice skating shoes out, and have at it, right? Okay, so now that's just your air temperature. Okay, better load on me. You better load on me. Okay, so here is your wind chill index. You're all wondering about this, right? So let's fast forward. So there's your system. Wow, look at how dynamic that is. Look at that warmer air moving in from the south. There's your curly Q. There's your surface low. Looks like a little supercell, doesn't it? With your forward flank line out in front. You get your RFD on the backside. That's your wind chill values, okay? And these are really going to plummet. Take a look at this. By Tuesday morning, it might feel like -10 out here in Missouri and Kansas, across much of the upper Midwest. Well, wherever you're being influenced by Lake Michigan, it won't be too bad, actually. Might feel quite nice. 24 degrees there. All right, and then, of course, for the Northeast, it's going to feel a lot cooler. And for reference, up here is -58. Who wants to go to Manitoba and witness that, right? That's pretty stinking cold, right? And look what happens. The wind chill values get down to -24, maybe -30 degrees in some areas. That's brutal. That is brutal. And that's going to continue because watch what happens. That cooler air comes on down again. And look at some of these areas here. Are you kidding? -33. That's what it feels like outside. But especially up here in Minnesota, that's where it might feel like -40, -50 degrees. That's pretty substantial, to say the least. And then it just continues. This cooler Arctic air mass will continue for a while, okay? Let's go to your temperature anomaly, because you all are wondering about that. So your temperature anomalies, yeah, look at this right here. 42 degrees below normal in this little swath. That's pretty marked. That's pretty impressive. And then look at this right here. Fantasyland, folks, almost 10 days out, as much as almost 50 degrees below average. Southern Indiana, almost 50 degrees below normal. St. Louis, Missouri, wow. Pretty stinking cold if you think about it. And temperatures are near average to below average from here on out. So yeah, get used to the cold. Get used to it because it's not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm on the 0Z Euro right now. Let's see what it's showing. Hey, it looks like it trended back to the south again. Yeah, it's back to the south. And it looks like it is a bit more intense with the freezing rain. And now it still looks like that St. Louis, Missouri, yeah, you're on the border. You're on the border of seeing that freezing rain amounts. And let's go to the Ohio Valley, because that's rest of the population. Yeah, this is still looking impressive. Everything shifted southward. Interesting. Even from the 12Z to the 0Z, it had shifted a little bit to the south. Toledo, Ohio, probably on a brisk of getting maybe a dusting, maybe an inch of snow at most, according to the European model. What's up, Steven? How are you? What is the weather app called? Weatherbell. You could check out Weatherbell. Weatherbell.com, okay, is what it's called. Weatherbell.com. It is not free. This is a subscription. Radar Omega is a subscription as well. Nothing that I use here is free, except if you want to use a free version, you can go to College Due page, or you can go check out Pivotal Weather. That's free for some extent, and then Tropical Tidbits is also free, which, by the way, this is what it looks like on Tropical Tidbits. Look at those pretty colors right there. Isn't those pretty? Pretty, but it's death. Pretty of death, I should say. So back to the Euro model. That's what it's showing right now. And it looks like the timing is pretty much the same. It hasn't changed much as far as timing goes. Let's see how much freezing rain actually accumulates. Yeah, the Euro model is not very aggressive on snowfall totals, interestingly. The freezing rain, yeah, still aggressive. It is actually not as aggressive, but it's not as aggressive in some areas, but still in others, still showing up to about a half an inch or more of ice on the Euro model. What's up, Nick Smith? Show the total snow for the Northeast. Okay, I will show you all that. The 10-1 ratio is what I will provide, but that's a look at your ice totals still. So if we look at the Euro, the 0Z output over the next 5 days, that is what it's showing. It is not as aggressive as the 18Z Euro model. It's pretty much the same, though, as the 12Z output, showing that lake effect snow right over just to the south of Watertown off of Lake Ontario. But this has shifted south by a lot, though. So this is still waffling all back and forth. So now, let me look at the models for next week's storm. See if that's still on the model. Let's see here. Hey, Euro doesn't believe that a storm exists at all. How about that? No storm on the Euro exists. Interesting, there is a cutoff low, though, that comes on down into California, which, by the way, I wanted to see what our wind is going to look like. Yeah, that's a strong northerly offshore wind event that California gets. Yep, it's going to be a strong one, it looks like. Yeah, that's in about 6 days, so that is looking like it's going to probably be a nasty one. Big-time Santa Ana wind event, too, with that. Interesting, that low forms, though. That's a pretty strong upper-level disturbance. Oh, my gosh, yes. Holy cow, yeah, that's a strong upper-level disturbance coming right down over California. That actually might bring down some cooler air with it, isn't it? Nah, not really. Not really. But yeah, definitely a big cool down for sure. At least over the next 10 days, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be pretty chilly. All right. So the Euro does not show a snowstorm for the middle of next week. What does the GFS show, though? Yep, it still thinks that something will form. Something will form out of that. We shall see. We shall see, people. We will see if it actually verifies. Still, the hype on that system continues. Unlike last night, it was a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, a lot less aggressive on the GFS this run, but still some snow down there. Wow, in the Gulf states. By the way, if you haven't liked the stream yet, be sure to do so. I do appreciate the support. And also subscribe to the channel, folks, because again, if you do subscribe, also be sure to hit the bell notification icon to get all of my updates here on the YouTube channel. What's up, Nick? By the way, yeah, my New Year's was pretty good. Pretty good, actually. Not bad at all. Do you think this vortex will stick around into February? I'm not surprised. Patterns like this, once they develop, they can get stuck into place for a while. I would say for the majority of January, I think it's going to be pretty cold. But when we look at the extended forecast on the European Ensemble control run, it does show a pattern change, possibly more back to zonal by mid to late January. So things could temporarily warm up across the Midwest and then might cool down, actually. More kind of back into our December pattern where we get ridging across the east. Well, this is on one run. This is early February. I would not put any trust or anything into this, please, folks, because this is one model and this is one of those hypo models that I would really not recommend checking out. I just look at this because of the fun of it when a pattern change does happen, but it does look like maybe by the middle to the end of January, things may change. That things may. But again, that will really depend on a lot of things. But let's just focus on one thing at a time, and that is that storm that's coming up for the weekend and early next week. Okay. What is Kansas looking to get, David? There isn't much local news about it. Upon looking it up, thank you. So, Kansas. So, if you're in, well, it's not looking good. I'll tell you right now. It's looking pretty bad for your area. So, central Kansas, you're pretty much everywhere in Kansas could at least have some freezing rain, and then it turns over to snow by Sunday morning once that cooler air comes in. But you're going to have some ice. You're going to have to deal with that because of that, where that system develops. And then, of course, the winds that develop behind the system. Look how strong those get right there. That's like 45 knots. Wind gusts there up to maybe 60 miles an hour. So there would be power outage problems. Can it go north by 100 miles? There is certainly an outside possibility of that. Exactly. Seek, Steel. Yeah. How's Kentucky looking? Kentucky is in a pretty big concern for freezing rain. Most certainly. It's ice amounts, depending on how you look at it, look pretty concerning. I'm telling you right now. Between about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. Oh, and I forgot to show you all the sleet amounts, because the Euro is not going to show it very well. For some heck reason, I don't know if it's anti-sleet biased. But let's look at the sleet amounts on the GFS. And there they are. There will not be 4 inches or 5 inches of sleet. That is scarily high. If that actually happens in just south of St. Louis, Missouri. Let's see what the Canadian shows, though. Canadian's pretty aggressive, too. Same amounts, actually. Dalton, what's up? Connorville, Indiana. So you're in Connorville, Indiana. So let's go over to there. So Connorville, Indiana could get, I would say, about 10 to 15 inches of snow is what I'm thinking right now. That's what it looks like. 10 to 15 inches of snow for Connorville, Indiana. What does it look like for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Pittsburgh could get 2 to 4 inches of snow. Actually, 2 to 5 inches of snow, and might just get maybe about a few hundredths of an inch of ice. So enough to kind of make things a little slick out there. Rising Gun, Ohio. What? There's a town named Rising Gun. Never heard of Rising Gun. There is. About a 1 to 3 inches of snow is possible in Rising Gun, Ohio. All right, so kind of on the northern fringe of that storm. Delmarva. So the Delmarva area. Not Minnesota. Why do I always say Minnesota? So it's going to be Salisbury. We'll do Maryland. That's what it's called. Yeah, Salisbury, Maryland. The Delmarva area. More like 4 to 8 inches of snow according to the GFS. I don't think the Euro gives us snow totals, do they? Nope, they do not. So the GFS here, the interactive version, we'll have to use the 10-1 ratio. And did it just wink on me? Let's see. So, yeah, so that area could get about 6 inches. How much in Milford, Ohio? Milford, Ohio. So Milford, Ohio could get, wow, that is going to be a lot there. Between 10 to 8, about, I would say 12 to 18 inches of snow at this point. You're very welcome, Lifestyle. How about Philadelphia? Philadelphia, let's see, Philadelphia area. Oh my goodness, Philadelphia is hiding from me over here. So the Philadelphia area could get up to about 1 to 4 inches of snow. Southeast Virginia. So the southeastern Virginia area, so that's like Newport News area. You could get maybe 1 to 4 inches of snow. Milford, Ohio. Did I do Milford? I thought I did Milford. Maybe there's another Milford. So, yeah, I thought I did Milford. Oh, yeah, there's Milford, Ohio. So, yeah, Milford area could get 12 to 18 inches of snow. You're very welcome, Savage. Newark, Delaware. There's a lot of Newarks. I guess that's a really popular name, isn't it? A little town. Oh, that's actually a fairly big town. About 1 to 4 inches of snow. Evansville, Indiana, please. All right. Evansville, Indiana. About 2 to 5 inches of snow is expected there for Evansville, Indiana. How about Portland, Indiana? Okay, hold on. You guys are, there's a lot of questions coming in about what about me? What about me? What about me? Okay, I'm trying to do what I can. I'm trying to do what I could right now at the moment, okay? Whoa. Why did it give me that? Portland. Is there really a Portland, Indiana? Really? There is. Probably another small little town or city. Based on the GFS, about I would say about 2 to 5 inches of snow is expected in that area. What's up, Justin? Green, New York. Oh my goodness, you guys. Green, New York. So it's probably this. Yes. About 1 inch in Green, New York. Columbia, Missouri. Thanks. Okay, Columbia, Missouri. Let's go over there. Columbia, Missouri. Wow. Possibly almost a couple of feet there. About 1.5 feet in Columbia, Missouri. Wow, just south, too. Just south of the maximum of 2 feet. 2 feet of 10-1 ratio. Fayette City, Pennsylvania. Hey, you know what? These questions do help because it lets me know where a lot of these are coming from. And a lot of them are coming in around where all the snow is going to be falling. So that's good. YouTube is doing its job. It's recommending this out to an audience that is most likely to watch this because of the big snowstorm that is expected. So that's good. Thank you, YouTube. I do appreciate this. For you to recommend it to an audience that is likely interested in watching this live stream. Okay, the questions are getting pretty, not absurd, I wouldn't say that, but like, oh my gosh, I cannot keep up with all of these. I cannot keep up with all of these. St. Louis, Missouri is going to be getting quite a bit of snow and sleet, maybe some freezing rain. There's still some discontinuities amongst the models. Some are showing sleet, some are showing freezing rain, and some are just showing snow. Kansas City, Missouri. So on the Missouri side. Yeah, it's looking like you're probably going to get a foot of snow. Texas, just a lot of rainfall. No snow. Louisville, Kentucky. So, Louisville. I always say Louisville, right? Louisville, probably about 2 to 5 inches of snowfall. Northern Oklahoma is going to get, let's see here, 2 to 4 inches of snow is what I'm thinking. Athena, Ohio. Oh my goodness. Chat is going pretty fast actually tonight, and no moderators. Wish moderators were here to help answer those questions too. I would say for the Ethna area, that's how you say it, or Athena? Yeah, I think it's Ethna area. About 5 to 8 inches of snow. North Carolina. Okay, good. Titan, help answer these questions. They're coming in like nothing else. Caden! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my freaking goodness. How are you doing, Caden? How are you doing? It has been, well, how long has it been? It's been a while. Can we talk on Discord tonight? We need to catch up. We literally need to be catching up on Discord over here, okay? Don't be shy. We got to talk. All right. Iowa City, yes. Iowa City, you name it. You're on the map here already, so that makes things a whole lot easier. You could get 2 to 4 inches of snow. 2 to 4 inches of snow. It could go a little further north. It can go a little bit south. Right now, about 2 to 4 inches of snow is expected. And what just happened? What just happened? No! My snow map just went away. All right, there we go. We're back. We're back. That was a little weird. It kind of just bleeped out there. Please, Caden. I mean, we have to chat soon. We really have to chat soon. You got this. I need to catch up with you. I mean, it's been like a year since we had like a voice conversation. Like, it's been over a year. I made you moderator, so yeah. What would be causing Pennsylvania to get missed so often nowadays? 10 years ago, we used to get hammered in western Pennsylvania, particularly Armstrong County. The same principle applies to California, where I live. We used to get like 20 to 30 inches of rain all the time. Now, guess what? We can barely get 20 inches a year in our water year deficit. So, or in our water year calculation. So, yeah, climate is changing. I don't really want to go into whole politics about climate change and global warming, but the patterns do change from time to time. And unfortunately, Pennsylvania is just not getting lucky. It really isn't. How much snow sleet will Jefferson City get? So Jefferson City is Jefferson City, Missouri. So that's central-ish Missouri. So, oh my gosh, you don't even want to see this. You don't even want to see this. It's bad. It's pretty significant. If you want to know the specific numbers, these are raw numbers from the model. This is actually not what's going to happen. 1 to 2 inches of sleet. How about this? 1 to 2 inches of sleet. Probably a trace amount, maybe 1/100 of an inch of freezing rain. And what about snow? Maybe a foot of snow. Caden, it's possible. It is very much possible. It could shift north a little bit. It's been going back and forth, though. It has been moving all over the place. This is the latest model that it actually jumped north again. So there is that possibility. We won't know for sure until it almost actually literally develops. Probably like the morning of when this thing gets going. But what you're going to feel, though, what you're going to be dealing with some very cold temperatures. That is a guarantee. You may not be getting a lot of snow, but you're also going to get a lot of cold. How about that? Does that sound a little bit better? That sounds a little bit better. What's up, Jay Zords Weather Center? Holy moly, it's been a while. It's been a while. I'm glad I'm getting my loyalty audience back here. Caden's in the chat. Jay Zord's in the chat. Titan. Wow, Titan's been very active. I appreciate that. Also, I do appreciate you all participating in the stream tonight. We had at one point here, we had almost 1,000 people watching. So I do appreciate all of the support. Because, again, this is the main part of the channel. Not that I don't track hurricanes, but really, we have 350 million people that live in the United States, right? So we have a lot more. We have a nice, good population and an audience to grow off of. So I do appreciate the donations. I appreciate you all coming in, supporting me. Because this is a storm that is going to be a big problem. I don't think it's going to be historic, but it is going to be downright close to being one. Dayton, Ohio. So Dayton, Ohio will definitely get a lot of snow out of this. Possibly 1.5 feet of snow. Demand, what's up? David, I'm just wondering when you think San Diego, Cali will see its first rainy day. What's up, a California local? Unfortunately, the pattern is not looking promising at all. San Diego is definitely in dire need of water. And other than the short wave that's moving through my area, you're not going to get any rain out of this. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to get this trough. Let me see, actually. Do you get rain out of it? You might get a sprinkle. Hey, you might get something. You might. It's too far out, though. Dry system, though. It's retrograding. So it's coming down like that. So it's kind of going around into Nevada. It's really weird, too. It just forms. It just, like, forms right there. And it, like, skirballs off of Southern California and just kind of becomes a cutoff low. This is a very weird pattern, I'm telling you. It's just a crazy pattern that sets up. You got an omega block that sets up. You get a cutoff flow down to the south of that. You get easterly flow around the system. So you're going to get Santa Ana winds, definitely. That's going to be the thing. And boy, this 500 millibar jet is awfully strong. I mean, that is, holy cow, that is really strong. That is 130 knot jet. Oh my gosh. That is insanely strong. This is a very bullish model, actually. That jet max goes right over my area. What does a GFS model have? Oh yeah, GFS is definitely not as crazy as Euro is on that inside slider setup. So different solutions on that. But one thing's for sure is it's going to be dry. It's going to be dry for a long time. I don't think we're getting rain. I don't see any rain anytime soon. Probably for the next 2 weeks. For 2+ weeks for San Diego. Sorry. After all, it's La Nina. You can blame La Nina for that. Thank you for the $1 donation, J-Zords. 130 knot jet, can I get that translated so I can explain it? 130 knot jet is about 100 so in knots that's about 150. That's about 155 mile an hour jet at 500 millibars, which is 18,000 feet above the surface. Yeah, I said it. 18,000 feet above the surface. Hey, Kristen, how are you? How is my Kristen coming along? What will Northwest Indiana look like here for snowfall? Tell you, not very eventful. Probably about 2 to 4 inches. Maybe locally, maybe higher because of that lake effect snow machine. So you might get up to 6 inches of snow. It just depends on how things set up there. Carmel, Indiana. Okay, this is... I want to get a little break from location requests here for a bit. Unless it's like a region, then I'm fine with that. So Carmel could get could possibly get a foot or more of snow. Tip City, Ohio. So Tip City could get about 8 to 10 inches. You're very welcome, Linda. I do appreciate it. Also, again, thank you guys for the support on last night's stream and now this stream. Gosh, I can't believe we're already at 34,130 subscribers. Wow. I mean, last night we were not even at 34,000. We were only at 33,800 something. So thank you guys. I do appreciate all the subscriptions. Altoon. Wow, that's my middle name. Heck with it. I am a little town in Illinois. 22 inches, possibly 2 feet of snow, and these are 10-1 ratio snowfall totals. Now, again, this is one specific model run. This has been going back and forth between about a foot to maybe a couple of feet. Hillsboro, though, for sure. Oh, my goodness. Hillsboro, possibly, well, 27 inches of snow. I'm so confused. What are you confused about? Since we are getting 5 inches, are we okay and saved in Louisville, Kentucky? So in Louisville, Kentucky, you're going to get some ice, snow, and sleet mixed in. So it's going to be a wintry mix for your area. What system is usually more accurate? So which model? It's hard to say, but in general, the GFS has done quite well as far as I can see, at least for our weather here in California. It hasn't done too bad. The Euro model can go both ways. So I would say probably the GFS. I'm putting a little bets on the GFS this go around. What about in Central North Carolina? So in Central North Carolina, let's go to that. So Central North Carolina, it's just going to be mainly a rain unless you're a Canadian model lover. And then you're going to get some freezing rain. That's all you would get, rain or freezing rain. Dan, man, I recommend Tropical Tidbits and the College of Dew page. Pivotal Weather is free to some extent. There are other parts of the web page that you have to pay for to get like some of the more detail, like mesosector. You know, if you want to focus just on New York, you'll have to pay a little extra for that. But most of what I use comes out, I have to pay for it. Okay, Moorville. So Moorville what? Let's see. It's probably going to be in Indiana or Missouri. I'm assuming it's probably in Indiana because there's many Moorvilles. So 16 inches for that location. Let's see. If you're in Missouri, Moorville, that's 20 inches. And then if you are in North Carolina, Moorville, you're not going to get any snow at all. Okay, so you're going to get about 12 to 18 inches of snow since you're in Indiana. Yeah, 12 to 18 inches. What's up, Irma? How are you doing? Irma Lee. How are you doing? But yeah, this is going to be a winter storm. And you know what? As much as I hate this, I like the dynamics that are coming together for this. It's just a very classic winter storm. And you can see, look at how this all develops. All from California. You guys, you can blame California for this because that's where it's coming from. And you can see it right there moving right across. The jet stream is pretty energetic. I wonder if we'll have another year with another high risk. It's possible, J-Zords, but unlikely. High risks are rare in themselves. So having one in Northern Illinois is even more rarer. But hey, Kristen Marie, how are you doing? How's your New Year's coming along? What did you do today for New Year's? Hey, what did you all do for New Year's Day today? I want to ask you all that question. You guys have asked me the questions about where the snow is going to fall. Let me ask you now, what did you do for New Year's Day? You know what I did for New Year's Day? I uploaded my YouTube video earlier and then had to get ready for work, went to work, and then came home and did more YouTube. So... sorry, is OKC going to get anything? Not anything particularly extreme by any means, no. Maybe some snow in the wake of that, but not really a whole lot of rain with that system because that surface low is going to be developing like literally over you. You worked? Oh, some people had to work. Okay, Keith had to work today. Corbin stayed home. Okay. I celebrated with my aunties. Nice, nice. I slept in and that's what I did. Nice, Corbin. Oh, what just ringed? Let's see. Probably letting me know to go live. Oh, it's my bedtime. Oh, crap. Yeah, I'm on a very tight schedule. I want to be, because this is the only way I can stay on task. Well, not on task, but you can see what I have all laid out here. So I need to head to bed so I can sleep and then wake up early and just do the whole round again. I'm starting up Facebook again, by the way. So if you all want to follow me on Facebook at SacramentoWeatherCenter.com, you can go check that out on Facebook. Actually, let me put that up here for those that are wondering. Sacramento Weather Center, it's literally local weather. I do not go out of California. So if you are in the Sacramento area, go check that out. I encourage you all. We went to the movies? Nice. You are organized. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, yeah. I am pretty organized, I guess. Yeah, you can see that. Anything in red is YouTube. It's highlighted in YouTube. So you can see there's where we're at right now. Right there. Off my new iPad. That's what I needed. I needed a new iPad. You stayed home? Nice. Yeah, but I just sure hope I'm getting the word out to these people about this snowstorm because this thing is not going to be pretty. Even so, it looks pretty on the models. You know, I don't know if it's a coincidence. You guys tell me this, okay? I don't know if this is a coincidence or what, but it seems like every holiday, if that's even a time change, like if the clocks go forward or back, if it's the first day of winter or Christmas Day, New Year's Eve or whatever, New Year's Day, it seems like a storm seems to want to develop. Like the holidays make the models upset and then the storm develops. Like what we're seeing here. After New Year's Day, what do we get? What do we get? We get a winter storm. I actually like that. Thank you so much, Titan. You want me to get laid off from work? I don't know if... Oh, wait, no. Oh, you were working, but you got laid off? Oh, that's unfortunate. Looks like the economy is not doing so well. People losing their jobs still. Hopefully that changes soon. Like your Facebook page. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. I'm going to be back on top of it tomorrow. You can see what I cover, though. I need to make a new graphic for my 7-day forecast. I lost all of the icons once I got this new computer, so I'm trying to figure out a workaround that. Until that occurs, I will not have a 7-day forecast graphic up on these posts that I do till I figure something out. But you can see what I post on there. Again, sometimes I go international. It would be in video format from YouTube, but mainly I stay on top of the weather only in the Sacramento Valley, the Sierras, as well as, say, down towards Merced. Rarely do I get down there towards Fresno area. I go out towards the Bay Area sometimes if it's a big weather event, but I really stay in around the local Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area. Get on this, Schlott. I am in Cleveland, Ohio. You're way up there, huh? So you're only going to get 2 to 4 inches of snow. Maybe more due to lake effect, snow effects. So you could probably get about a foot of snow. Even that the GFS model is not going too aggressive. But yeah, if you guys are wondering, this is my Facebook page right here. This is what I have. So you can go check it out. Sacramento Weather Center. Sacramento Weather Center, that is. If you guys want the link, if you forgot the link, bookmark it. It is here. Actually, I should bookmark it myself here in the chat. I'm going to be headed out here really soon anyways, but you can see it's the pinned message that I put up there. Will it snow in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or ice? No snow, no ice in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's going to be rain, and instead, you might get some severe weather too. Yeah, severe weather chances are going to go up on this system for Sunday. That's all you guys get. Tornadoes down there. Tornado Mageddon at Frenzy Alley. Hudson, North Carolina. Okay. So Hudson, North Carolina. No snow. And maybe some ice. Probably about 1/10 of an inch or less of ice accumulation there. Mainly in the form of rain and some gusty winds is what you're only going to get with that. Lexington. I saw Lexington, Kentucky, right? Yep. Lexington, Kentucky, about 3 to 6 inches of snow. Memphis, Tennessee. Let's see, Memphis, Tennessee. You're not likely to get any significant ice, but you might. It's still an outside possibility you might get some ice out of this. Let me see if I'm able to swap between everything here. But yeah, the GFS doesn't have any ice in your area, so it doesn't look like it's going to be anything significant for the Memphis, Tennessee area. Just likely rain. St. Louis, Missouri, you're definitely going to get some snow and sleet, and the risk for ice is still there. Emily, oh wait, this is a different person. Yeah, Emily, I already answered your question. I said Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Louisiana is not going to get ice or snow out of this storm. It's going to just mainly be rain and some severe weather. You're very welcome, Allison. Sorry if I can't get to everyone's question. I'll tell you, I'm not the worst person out there. There's other YouTubers that don't even get to anyone's questions. It'll take hours and days, and I'll be like, come on, you didn't get to my question? I kept on putting it up there in chat for a while, you know? I try to get to everyone's question, but when all these questions come in at once, I cannot keep up with it. So if I missed your question, you know why. Many people have thrown their questions at me. But I did answer your question, Emily. I already did. And Kristen, you're doing such a good job. You got a surprise headed your way. You'll like the surprise. Hey, if you want to find a lot of snow, go off the coast of the island of Newfoundland. How about that? 40 inches of snow is expected. Right there. Lots of snow. Or, hey, go to the mountains here of Alaska. How about that? You might get 65 inches of snow. That's a lot. That's a lot of snow up there. Hey, that's where all the snow is going to go anyways, because we have a big old fat ridge of high pressure building on in after this weekend. I couldn't hear you. Sorry. Oh, okay, Emily. Now you heard me. Baton Rouge, Louisiana is not going to get... I want to make sure my audio's up too. Baton Rouge, Louisiana is not going to get any ice or any snow. Rain and severe weather, and of course the winds go along with that. You saw it, Kristen? Yay! Did you see the day 5 risk? I did. Jay Zord's weather, yes. It's a slight risk for severe weather on day 5. And because of how dynamic the setup is, it could go. It could go day 2 enhanced. A moderate risk is jumping the gun a little bit. I think it's going to be mainly an enhanced risk, which is significant enough. I mean, that could give you a 10 sig for tornadoes or a 10 non-sig for tornadoes and a 30% non or sig for damaging winds. Rising Sun, Indiana. Okay, Rising Sun, Indiana. All these weird town names. Who named these in the first place? Rising Sun, Indiana. I guess that's where the sun rises, right? You might get a foot of snow there. A foot of snow on top of rising sun. That may prevent the sun from rising. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Terre Haute, Indiana. Possibly 15, about, I would say 12 to 18 inches of snow there in Terre Haute, Indiana. You're very welcome, Myrtle Parker. I do appreciate it. Yep. Do you think Georgia will get snow next week? That is up in the air. There is different solutions on the models, how they resolve things. The GFS probably is your best friend. Yeah, you might get a little bit of snow. And I mean, just a little wink of snow. That's all you might get with that. And that is for the end of next week. That is, again, up in the air. It's all over the place. Some models have more snow than others. The 12Z was pretty bullish. Oh my gosh, yes. The 12Z was Snowmageddon Frenzy. That right there would have been, yeah, it would have been a big deal. It would have been a big deal. Yeah. That would have been the mighty of a snowstorm. And a sleet storm. And an ice storm as well. So, good thing the 0Z is not showing that, because that would be one heck of a storm. Boy, look at those winds too on that. The 12Z verified, or if this kind of became the new solution, that would be a biggie. That would be a biggie of all biggies. But right now, it looks like nothing on this, the last couple of runs from the GFS. Which is why I'm kind of going back and forth on this. This is still possible in southern Texas, like Houston, Texas could get some snow. But that's Thursday next week. We're not in Thursday yet. It's only Wednesday still. Well, for some of you, it is Thursday. But seriously, like, this is 8 days away. A little more than 8 days from happening. So it is pretty far out. Thank you, Kristen, for clarifying. That really helps out a lot. As what she said, I know there's a lot of people watching this live stream, and I'm glad I'm trying to get to the questions as much as I can, but I can't get to every question, especially if chat goes fast. Saratoga Springs, Utah.
I don't know where you are, but you can show me. Go to privacy settings, select location services, scroll to Siri.
Oh my gosh. Okay. With a Russian or with a German accent. I love that voice action. You guys want to hear this? Want to hear what I have? After all, I am German, so this makes perfect sense. Hey Siri, what's the weather like tomorrow? Hey Siri, what's the weather like tomorrow? Come on, are you not going to talk? Hey Siri, say hello to me. Why are you not saying hello? That's crazy. It talks when it wants to talk. Please talk. Ah, stupid. I'll have to go into settings and fix that. So, Saratoga Springs, yeah, could get 6 inches of snow. That's part of that storm that's coming through. Thank you, Devin, for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. It's a he, Hurricane Lee. It's not a she. I gotta have a he Siri, right? Siri on my end has to be a he, not a she. I don't like she Siris. They're retarded. Hey Siri, take me to the Siri settings. Here are my settings. What? Interesting. I'll have to figure that out. David, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, please. How much? Thank you for yelling at me. So Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania could get 2 to 4 inches of snow, maybe 6 inches. Evansville, Indiana. So Evansville, Indiana. Let's go to Evansville. Could get about 2 to 5 inches of snow. I'm glad you guys are loving asking me your question about how much snow you're gonna see. I do appreciate that. Hey, people are listening. Your ears are open. Wichita, Kansas. How about if I rip your ears off? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Wichita, Kansas, 2 to 5 inches of snow. But I'm worried you might get a little bit of ice with that too. The cutoff is near where I am in New Jersey. Oh, so you're kind of right up in here, that northern edge. Which, by the way, Kristen, do you have Discord by any chance? I would love to get to know you. You are very active, very loyal to the channel. I think it's time to ask you that question. Do you have Discord? Boone, North Carolina. I already showed Boone, North Carolina. There's too many Boones. All right. Either way, you could get 1 to 4 inches of snow. 1 to 4 inches. Your Siri is not answering you because it went to bed, laughing out loud. That's probably, no, it is answering me. Listen, okay? Hey Siri, what's the weather going to be like? Look what it says. It's up there, right here. I click on this. Oops, don't want to hit that button. That's what it says. See, it hears me. It's listening. Hey Siri, what's the weather going to be like? Or hey Siri, what's your favorite football player? See, it's working. It's just not reading back. Kansas City, Missouri. So Kansas City, Missouri. Boy, each time someone asks me their city on how much snow they're going to get, I'm just going to add them to the map of the location. Because that would make it easier for me. 15, you could get about 10 to 18 inches of snow. What's up, ID? How are you? Hart County, Kentucky. So you're in Kentucky. So you're... Give me a city, not a county, please. Thank you. There's a Hart County, Georgia, but not... Oh, there's a Hart County, Kentucky. Excuse me. So you could see about an inch of snow. You're very welcome, Christine. I think the new works are pronounced differently. Okay, I pronounce Newark new work. Okay, I'm a Cali person. That's how we say it here in California. But yeah, Kristen, do you have Discord? I don't know if you heard that question. Do you have Discord? Does anyone here in the chat that is watching this live stream have Discord? If you don't know what Discord is, it's a way you can interact with me. Yeah, you can interact with me. David over here. Yeah, you can interact. I mean, I have friends on here that I talk to. You can interact literally. Hey, there's my friend right here. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, I don't know. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure I was able to show that. So, basically, you could do this. You could actually tune into people's voice chats. And I did that just for the heck of it, you know? So. Newark. Oh! So it's Newark. See, I almost say it almost sounds like I'm using a W in there, like new work, but it's Newark. Man, that's a little bit of a tongue twister because that you might spit out the work. What's up, Angus? How are you doing? Welcome. Hello there. I am a member and have access to Discord. I have not joined Discord. Okay. So, Kristen, you have Discord, or Kristen Randall. It's been so long since I've messaged you on David on Discord. What do you consider a lot of snow? I don't experience snow at all, and if I do, let's go up to the mountains. Let's go. Let's shoot off into the mountains because that's where we go and get snow. It's hard to say because I've been in snow, but like probably not a foot of snow. I've experienced like 2 or 3 inches of snow. That's why I want to live in the Midwest or along the Great Lakes where I can have the snow. Then I can tell you guys what 12 inches is like. But I'll tell you what, get out a ruler and then measure it, you know. I would say, though, 12 inches or more to me is quite a bit. That's enough to bring travel to a snarl. When you get 2 feet of snow, it's pretty much done after that. Your travel is pretty much at a standstill. You get 3 feet of snow, it's pretty much worse than that. Newark. Oh man, Newark. Really different ways you can pronounce it. But I do love you guys. I do appreciate the support. I always, think to myself, man, I want to move somewhere. I want to move. I don't want to live where I live because it's like it's hot in the summer and it's cool in the winter. I'm not going to use the word cold because you guys get colder than me. Like, literally. So, any questions? Any questions at all? Boy, it's almost 11 o'clock and I'm past my bedtime. I am past my bedtime. I love your name, by the way, Titan. When I think of Titan, I always think of the moon. Titan. That's I think Saturn's moon or Jupiter's moon, something like that. How will Western New York be? Depending on where. If you're in Buffalo, it goes two ways. You could have 0 inches of snow, or you could have 3 feet of snow. How does that sound? Because the lake effect snow machine, right? We can't forget about that. Ooh, ow, ah. Oh, yeah. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Whoo! Big leg cramp. I was sitting in a chair. I folded my right leg in so I can sit on it, and that didn't go well. That did not go well. Ooh, yeah, that hurts. Oh, yeah. That, I can feel that still, even so it's not cramped up anymore. So I need to just be careful how I fold in my leg. Oh, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Oh. Every time I bend my leg in like that, sometimes it doesn't do it, but sometimes I get a leg cramp. And there was a leg cramp that was so bad, you guys. Oh my goodness. You would have hated me live streaming. It was so freaking bad. This was like a year and a half ago. And it was like in the latter part of the summer, and I was playing. What was I doing? Maybe I was prepping a live stream, or I was about to do a YouTube video, or I was doing something on my computer, and I was like, I gotta change positions. I'm uncomfortable in my sitting position. So I put my leg up, and I tell you what, I had one of the worst leg cramps. I did not want to be here on this planet. It was so painful. It was excruciating, and it was so painful that I could not walk for at least a few hours because it rippled through my entire leg. Oh, yeah, it is. Thank you, Angus. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you guys for wondering. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I need to change positions. I am not comfortable. But I just cannot put my leg all the way in. There we go. Now I can sit like this. You guys probably get those leg cramps too, and it hurts. Now it doesn't hurt bad at all. I'm fine. Doesn't even hurt. I didn't even know that I had one. It's that pain that it comes when it happens, and then it just kind of quickly goes away. Eat a pickle, then go to the doctor. Oh my gosh. Snork, no. You could be a pickle. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Lucky Ducky Art. The Lucky Duck. Lucky Ducky Fuzz. Hey, you know what? When I was in improv, that brings me up to this. Then I'm gonna head off. We played this game, and it was like an icebreaker. Maybe it wasn't. It was like a warm-up. It was a tongue twister. And we would play the Lucky Duck. Lucky Duck, Ducky Fuzz. You know, Lucky Duck, Ducky Fuzz. And that name right there brings back those improv memories right there. Oh my gosh, I'm not a pickle. Come on, Corbin. I'm always interested on pickles, though. Pickles are cucumbers, but they're pickled. I mean, I don't know what kind of pickle I don't like. There's one pickle that the moment that I eat it, I just spit it out. I'm just trying to figure out. I don't mind dill pickles. Sweet pickles, I don't mind. There's another kind of pickle that I'll just spit out immediately once I take one bite into it. All right. Bread and butter pickles. All right, this is the last question. Detective Chase or Detective Cheese. No more questions after this. We're ending it here, okay? So if you have any questions after Detective Cheese, come back again tomorrow. I'll answer those. Can you see how much southwestern Ohio will get? The Rocks, thank you for streaming. This rocks. Oh, this rocks. I don't even... Oh my gosh, I just added that into a whole sentence. So southwestern Ohio. So Hamilton area. So southwestern Ohio, Dayton area. I would say in general about a foot of snow is expected. Thank you, Kathy, for tuning in. I will be tomorrow back on YouTube, folks, with my fabulous thumbnails. Yeah. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, you guys, because you guys are awesome. And I do enjoy interacting with you all. If you like this interaction, come back again tomorrow. But I'll have a video out first and then go live. How about this? All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. Actually, today for some of you, okay, because you're Eastern time. So see you back here right around noon, maybe 1 o'clock-ish today on Thursday, and then we'll go live again tomorrow evening. I don't know how that's going to work because you know what I have on Thursday, okay? You guys remember what I have on Thursday nights? It's called church, right? But anyways, have a great rest of your night, and I'll be back with you guys more tomorrow with a video and live stream. Ooh.